So, George, what would you say is the biggest misunderstanding about environmental data in the conveyancing process, and how does it slow transactions down?
It's a good question. I'd say that one of the biggest misunderstandings is that data is encompassing. And so a report that relies solely on data can return results that don't reflect the actual risk or context of the site, which can result in further work being undertaken that wasn't necessary and lead to confusion and further inquiries being made, which obviously further prolongs the process. So a consultant has the ability to reduce or downgrade risk compared to what the data might suggest. Um, and so that can have a huge impact on making sure that our transaction moves as smoothly as possible.
So, we know that data can flag a risk, but what does an expert actually add that data alone can't?
Yeah, of course. So I think the consultant will be looking to explain that risk in further detail. So, what do those findings actually mean? And what would they mean to the client as well? Can they justify certain decisions that are being made by the consultant? Explain whether the risk that has been identified is maybe confined to small hotspots across the site or large areas across the entirety of the boundary that we've been provided. And on top of that, they'll be looking to provide bespoke recommendations as well.
And can you give us a quick example of how expert interpretation turns a red flag into a clear route forward?
Yeah, of course. So a common example is within the flood sections of our reports. So the data that we have, whilst it can be very useful, can provide a slightly false image of the risk present, and the consultant will take the time to analyze that data, look into it further, and ensure that it is actually corresponding with significant areas of the site or infrastructure that might be present. Maybe the flooding risk is associated with operational sections of the site, like yard areas, and explaining all of that decision making within their commentary so that the client has full transparency on where that risk is, what it might impact, and how that could impact them and the transaction.
So, what role do you play in avoiding extra or unnecessary inquiries?
So, when a consultant is able to provide clear and justified decisions with bespoke recommendations regarding those potential next steps, it can steer clients and customers towards the next course of action in the most seamless way possible. A common example we find with that is talking about redevelopment sites. So, redevelopment sites have all sorts of different parameters and guidance compared to sites that are just continuing in their current use. And therefore, the recommendations required will be very much tailored to exactly what those sites will need and what they might need to consider to sign off any final conditions that would be placed on the application.